I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining me once again. There was a powerful earthquake there in Papua New Guinea, a magnitude 6.6. It struck at 9:05 p.m. local time, evidently during a funeral for the governor, Luther Way. I did not know that Papua New Guinea was a commonwealth of the UK, England. King Charles evidently is the ruler of Papua New Guinea. Interesting. More about that in a minute. The earthquake struck just 26 kilometers west-southwest of Lae. Like I said, during that funeral, many heads of state were in that location when it occurred. Using Google Earth, here you can see the location. This is the second largest city in the nation. This earthquake was fairly deep, 99 kilometers or about 66 miles. 56 people sent in reports to USGS, and they gave it an intensity level of 6. Here's the felt reports. Yeah, it was felt over a fairly wide area. Even way up over here, it looks like. Let's see. Balamo, 456 kilometers, probably southwest. That would be about 282 miles. This here would be Morobe province. It was described in Lae as being huge, a jolt that lasted several seconds, rattling homes and offices. It's a port city of about 76,000 residents. The Papua New Guinea mayor, who is now in office, said it was very violent. The earthquake struck around 9 p.m. when he was at Lae Stadium with hundreds of others for a ceremony honoring the late governor. Soldiers were lifting Luther Weng's casket to go to the funeral home when it struck. There was a big rumbling noise like a plane flying overhead. Then the building started shaking violently for around 3 minutes. Another witness who described said that the earthquake has stirred superstition among the locals. Several government ministers were in Lae ahead of the funeral scheduled for the late governor. He died on September 12th. On September 16th, I thought this was interesting too. Papua New Guinea celebrated its 50th year of its independence, a milestone honoring half a century of self-determination, resilience, and cultural pride. Before Second World War II, Papua New Guinea was divided up into two sections, and after the war, it became one area. It's a Commonwealth realm. It is a sovereign state of the Commonwealth nations of the UK, and it has the same constitutional monarch and head of state as other realms. The current monarch, of course, you probably know, is King Charles. The nation was a site of fierce fighting during the New Guinea campaign of World War II, following which the two territories were unified and became an independent Commonwealth realm in 1975. No tsunami warning was issued, and I'm going to break down the science behind this earthquake. USGS said it was a 6.6, but there in Germany, they said it was a magnitude 6.8. It lies in the tectonically very active area of the Pacific Ring of Fire. It's a location where the Pacific Plate and the Australian plates grind together up to 110 millimeters per year. This isn't just any fault line or tectonic activity. This is also where the Solomon Sea Plate subducts under the mainland. You might be able to see I got little arrows drawn out here. I have the Ramu Markham fault zone drawn out. This is also part of the New Britain Trench, and this location is probably responsible for about 90% of the earthquakes that occur in this location. It's a north dipping thrust fault that slices through the region. Yeah, and you can see it's developed a lot of different land masses, mountains, and they classify it as a thrust fault. Annually, they probably have about 744 earthquakes. Yeah, 744 earthquakes every year in this location. The police there in Lae confirmed that it was very strong shaking, and luckily it was very deep where the destruction probably would have been a lot more. I haven't heard any reports about damage or people injured from this earthquake. And here's some reports that were sent into EMSC. Now, this one comes from Lay. It says, my cup of coffee dropped on the floor. Our whole building was rocking. We all ran out if the house, of the house, I guess a typo, before the power was out. Yeah, being 9 o'clock at night, it was dark. Another one says, no damage, was vibrating very strongly. Another one says they were at Anchorage, Labu, which is close by there, Sugarloaf, 34 kilometers from the epicenter, when we felt the seabed beneath us vibrating. The ship I was on was also shaking violently from the earthquake. Can you imagine? Another report from Lay says, took me by surprise. Everything in the house got shaken violently for about 2 minutes. Now they have damages, lost my mirror, and drinking glasses that fell off the holder. Surprisingly, Pompandetta said that it shook for about 2 minutes. This area was 275 kilometers southeast. So that would be about 170, maybe 171 miles southeast. No damage for another one, for Port Moresby. Hanging items were swaying. Another report from Pompandetta. Just felt and experienced an earthquake that lasted a full minute. The house was shaking, Papua New Guinea, 2 minutes ago. In spite of being on the first floor, we felt a strong quake, evidently, for a few seconds. Mirrors shaking in the building. And then the last one felt the house shake for like 15 seconds. Earthquakes are definitely increasing around the world, more of them and larger ones. It should be a wake-up call for many of you to be prepared. So what are your thoughts? Please put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Yes, sending prayers for the governor. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.